Let's go make sure it's not spraying anything.
Stop it.
Stop it? I get to stop it. All right, why?
What do we got?
Oil
Oil everywhere.
everywhere?
Good.
Oh, no.
I can
What
smell
happened?
All over the floor.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Look at this, it's creeping out of the front. I mean, what is not hooked up?
Mackerel.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good amount of oil.
it dumped it. Pretty much all.
What's up, everybody? My name is Elliott, but you already know you can call me the Motory Notary, and boy do I have a doozy of an episode for you guys today. But before I get to that, have you guys purchased your coffee mugs yet? Well, strap in because I've got an awesome opportunity to help support the channel directly, because I've partnered with veteran-owned small business GetEnteredToWin.com to not only give you the chance to buy an awesome coffee mug, but with each mug that you purchase, you'll be automatically entered to win the BMW 135i Canyon Carver project that Matt Farah is building on his channel. So, using the link in my description, GetEnteredToWin.com/ElliottAlvis, visit the link, check it out, get your mug, which features a Corvette, a chair, a coffee, and a quote from yours truly. But not only will you get my first piece of merch and an amazing coffee mug just in time for fall, but every time you buy one, you'll get automatically entered to win the BMW 135i Matt Farah car. It's a win-win from everybody. Awesome coffee mug, chance to win your own free BMW. So please use the link in my description below, GetEnteredToWin.com/ElliottAlvis, get your awesome coffee mug and get entered to win Matt Farah's BMW 135i. Now, let's get to the Volvo stuff. All right, well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's video, and that's putting the turbo back into the Volvo. Now, there's a couple of problems with that. One, removing the turbo was quite difficult, and that's supposed to be the easy part. And the second part is, it's been months since we did that part. And usually, you know, you kind of just go, oh, well, installation's the opposite of removal. But it's been so long that I don't think either of us fully remember each individual step. So we're gonna be kind of relearning as we're going. That being said, let's look at the subject, the new turbo. And I have it here. And look at this beautiful, beautiful turbo. I sent it off to be rebuilt at NM Turbo, and they did a fantastic job. Remember when I took this thing out, it was kind of rusty and gross and just, well, old. But now it is a fully rebuilt stock K24 turbo. And if you have any Volvo turbo rebuild needs, send it to NM Turbo. They are Volvo turbo experts, but they also do high-end stuff like McLarens and stuff. And they don't just do stock builds. They do fully upgraded builds. They do huge power builds. They're really the guys to send your turbo to. So check out NM Turbo. I'll have a link to them in my description. Now, that being said, let's put this beautiful rebuilt turbo into the Volvo. And it should just jump right in there, I'm sure, because, well, you know, it jumped right out of there. As you can see, everything is up against the firewall and the block. Actually, look at that. Hold on. That would be really great if that just slid in there like that.
Into place.
What is stopping it?
Everything. There's a thing on this manifold.
Yeah,
Well, you do have it in the correct direction.
I do, but,
Yes.
but at what cost?
Turned it.
See, you gotta dip it way down.
And went down.
There's just not that much, there's less room. All right, well, I guess we're gonna continue to fight this expensive metal Jenga for a few here. All right, after fiddling with it for quite a bit, my uncle getting in the engine bay and a little bit of blood on his end, we finally got it where it should be. No, it's not hooked up, but man, is it tough to just get in this position. So now, well, I was gonna say the only thing we have to do, but the next step is to put the gasket on the hot side here and, well, start to screw it in and then work backwards from there. It's so easy. Everything's falling into place right now. And that's not gonna bite me in the butt later, I'm sure. All right, after more struggling, mostly by my uncle, we've got it in and secure. So we've got the hot side totally fixed to the engine, and we have a special guest, 100% Jake, who just showed up to help, which is something I've barely even been doing. So
I'm here to point and laugh.
and drink energy drinks. So now we're gonna tighten everything up all the way and then begin the game of trying to figure out which oil feed line and oil return line and water line goes where, and it's just gonna be a whole heap of fun.
It's a jigsaw puzzle without the picture on the box.
Pretty much. And months between last time you undid the jigsaw puzzle.
Swedish jigsaw puzzle.
Swedish jigsaw puzzle. That is this entire car.
This is just IKEA with no instructions. We can figure this out.
Okay, in defense though, there's only room for one person to be tightening something at a time. So there's gonna be a lot of comments about like, why aren't you doing anything? It's like, I mean, there's not room.
Is this blood?
It is, probably don't touch that.
I thought that was paint.
It's body's paint. All right, so the turbo is tight from the top, and now it's time to start installing, the water feed line and the oil feed line and the oil return line and all that stuff. So some of that we have to get to from the bottom, so up the car goes. So let's see what's going on at the bottom of the Volvo.
So what needs to happen here?
You got me.
See, I love how everything is so accessible from a non-blind point of view.
Okay, now it's just stuck, damn it.
Yeah, so all that took was a step ladder and some dangerous acrobatics on my uncle's end here and a lift. So yeah, all the people in the forum, they're like, yeah, do this job in your driveway. No, it's not happening.
Dude, please, dude.
But you got it.
He got it.
I think you got it.
It's got.
Do you need a hand?
No, I think I'll just ride.
You just want to ride the
Yeah,
lift down?
rather than trying
Okay.
to remount that set of steps.
Okay, Jake. Well, you're partially in the engine bay,
Yeah, you have
But,
to be one with it.
Yeah.
but look at this. We have lines hooked up. Everything's looking really good from up top. It's a good day, probably a stopping point because we need to get some of this this hose, and we need to go from the bottom of the car. But Jake noticed, and good observation, a lot of this vacuum hose here is just in terrible shape, and that one, yeah, up there that I think goes. I don't know. It doesn't go right to the blow-off valve. It goes somewhere. So basically, we just need to size that, get a foot of it or so from the store, replumb it, and that should be pretty easy. And that's a good project for tomorrow or in a few seconds if you're watching this video. Jake, we'll maybe see you tomorrow. Same outfit.
I own 8 of these shirts.
All right, let's transition to tomorrow where we have new hose and all that other stuff. All right, and presto, it is another day. The hose has been acquired and we actually already put it on because, well, let's be honest, guys, it's pretty boring to watch people install vacuum hose, and well, that's not what you're here for, but I will show you what we did. So there was this whole T intersection here, and all this hose was rotted, and it goes all the way back to, I believe, the blow-off valve and stuff. But either way, this is all new, and we got the last little line stuck in back there. So now, I believe everything up top minus the intake and stuff is all hooked up. All of the critical turbo lines and stuff are hooked up. Now there's just, I think, 3 more bolts at the bottom, which of course are very difficult to get to, but that is almost it. We are at the home stretch of this, guys. I mean, look at this thing. It is in there. It is looking good. It is ready to make sweet, sweet boost. Now I just gotta lift it back up, put in some difficult to reach bolts, top it off with fluids, and we'll see how this thing goes. It's been a long time since I've even started this car, actually. It's pretty crazy. All right, up she goes. All right, after what I'm sure is the millionth crossfade I've done in this video, the car is up in the air, and let me show you what bolts we're looking at because it's actually really difficult to see even with the naked eye. Let's see. Now I gotta find him. It is that guy, and I believe 2 more. So you can tell from the angle that I have to shove the camera, not exactly an easy bolt to get to, but I believe it is some of the last bolts. So let's begin the struggle and listen to some music and watch a time lapse of people reaching up under a car. So, taking a brief break from
reaching up into the depths of the Volvo because one of the screws in the very hardest to reach part got stripped, so gotta tap it. It's just how that is. But it's fun to not be reaching up like this for a few seconds, I'd say.
Yes.
After this is tapped, it should have a good bite. We'll have a good seal on this thing, and it's time to keep going.
All right, well, here's the update on the situation after the millionth editing dissolve and third shirt change of this video. We spent the entirety of yesterday and half of today working on getting one bolt into this really difficult to reach, what I think is the, the water return. Kind of stripped out one of the nuts, as you saw earlier, and then we were worried the threads of the actual thing were stripped, and it just was a thing. It was one thing after another, not being able to get in there. But alas, we have gotten it. It is tight. Everything is sealed. So all of the difficult part of this turbo install is done. So now we can lower the car down, put all of the intake stuff back on, top it off with fluid, and hopefully start it. Okay, and shirt change because it's been another day. I know it's been a lot of time lapses and a lot of working, but well, there's been a lot of work done. And as you can see now, the work is done. The car is 100% mechanically back together. This is a sight I haven't seen in a really long time. So it's about time for that first start. The only thing is, gotta top this thing up on fluids, because if you remember from the turbo removal, this thing was absolutely raining coolant, which is normal. That's just the way turbo removals go. There's water going to them. So I'm gonna top it off on coolant, make sure it's got enough oil, hook up the battery, and I think we're ready, guys. This is crazy. I can't even believe it. It's been so long. It's gonna work though, I'm pretty sure. Oil status here, more than expected.
Well, I don't remember that
The oil,
was running out.
the coolant was absolutely sprinting out of here.
Yeah, and then it dripped out for days and days.
I know the coolant is bone dry in there. For all you commenters out there, this is the correct coolant. It is blue, or whatever color it's supposed to be. I don't hear any running out on the floor yet. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Now it's empty again.
Yeah.
So, cool. Hint. All right, so it's all topped up on fluids, and we went to go reconnect the battery, only to discover somehow it had never been disconnected in the first place. So the Volvo here is completely dead, right when we were going for that first start. Real bummer, total bonehead move on my part. I mean, why wouldn't it be disconnected? It was down for so long, but doesn't matter. Either way, it wasn't, and now we're here with the big boy battery charger, hoping for the best. It's always every little thing with this car, but this one was my fault, I will say. This was not the car's fault.
Okay, so you're thinking it's good to go now.
I'm thinking it's good to go now. Let's have it.
All right, well, let's see what it does. There's interior lights. That's always a good sign. All right, let's let everything whir back to life. Here we go. Nope, not enough juice yet. Darn. We'll revisit this in a minute. All right, after probably like an hour and a half more of charging, we're gonna give it another whirl. It's hooked up and running on its own power now?
On its own.
Okay. It's got to whir and click a bunch again. Here we go. It started. Oh, let's go make sure it's not spraying anything. Stop it. I get to stop it. All right, why?
What do we got? Oil everywhere.
Oil everywhere?
Good.
Oh, no.
Come this side.
I see.
I can
What
smell
happened?
All over the floor.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
What happened?
Yes. Well, I'd say something isn't hooked up right off.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, that sucks.
It started though,
That's a good sign.
you know? All the oil's bad. Oh. Oh, man.
Plenty?
Yeah. Look at this, it's creeping out of the front. I mean, what is not hooked up?
Mackerel.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good amount of oil.
they dumped it. Pretty much all.
All right, so I ran to the store, got more oil. My uncle and Dallas were looking for the source of the leak and couldn't find it, so they've donned face masks. And I think the plan now is to put more oil in it, start it, fully expecting that it's gonna be spraying everywhere, and hope that we can see where it comes from this time. These are brave soldiers here, and I appreciate that.
Fire in the hole.
Okay.
Hold it, stop. Okay, well, where we see where it's coming from.
Right here.
Whatever that is, right below that. Wow.
Quite a
bit. I see what happened. That was a gallon of oil on the ground.
Some good pressure behind it?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's stuck.
Hold it, stop.
So what happened? What made it evacuate all of its oil? Well, on the second startup and after removing a few things, we determined there was a banjo bolt missing. So a banjo bolt is, well, a bolt with a hole in the middle of it and pressurized stuff goes through it. It looks like this. I just recently got it, but apparently we were just missing it. I had all of the bolts sitting on the cart over there and there were no spare left over, so we were like, we're done. But that particular banjo bolt was what secured the oil pressure line coming from the engine block to the turbo, which is why it evacuated all of its oil within a matter of seconds because it was coming out at like 60 PSI. Obviously, we cut the car off early enough to prevent any damage, but boy, is that a shock when your car squirts that much oil. So the reason for the other shirt change is because it's been a few days. I went to O'Reilly's to order the part. They weren't exactly sure which one it was, but they gave me 3 different kinds and that took a day to get in. Got it back here, none of them fit. So I called Volvo. They had to overnight one, but by that point it was Friday and they said, well, it'll be here on Monday. Monday rolls around and of course, FedEx lost the shipment. I mean, it's hilarious with this car. But now it is Tuesday. I got the bolt. I went up there, I put it in, brought the car back down, topped it back off with fluids, secured everything else there, and now we are right back to where we were. The only downside is that my uncle caught COVID, so after all of this work, he can't be here to see potentially the first start. You know what? It's not potentially the first start. This is gonna work. We've covered all of our bases here. But let me switch back to handheld mode and let's fire this thing up.
All right, moment of truth. Dallas is gonna look under the hood to make sure it doesn't evacuate all of its oil again. Third time's the charm. Hopeful.
Not spewing.
It's not spewing, that's good. It is smoking a bit, but there's a bunch of oil everywhere, so that makes sense. I'd say it works. What I'm gonna do now is just let it idle for like 5 minutes, really let the oil circulate, keep an eye on the coolant, let this thing kind of get situated before even thinking about taking it out on the road. But I think we did it. It's not even dripping. That's fantastic. Look at that smoke though.
Smoking a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's got a lot to burn off and there's a little extra everywhere. Where is the smoke coming from? Underneath the heat shield or?
Yeah, like coming through right here.
It might just be billowing up.
It sounds great though. I'm very hopeful. This is great. I haven't heard this car run in months. It actually isn't that bad right now.
Smells like oil.
It's calming down. Yeah. I mean, it's weird to look at a smoking engine and be like, I feel good about this, but I'm happy as a clam right now. All right, I'm about to take it out for its first drive, but still smoking a little bit and the headlights make it look kind of cool. Okay, the car has been idling for some time now. Still a little bit of smoke, as you just saw, but this is my first honest-to-goodness drive in this car for many, many months. Whenever the last Volvo video was, somebody will have to let me know.
but I'm going to take it very gingerly because, you know, any number of things could go wrong right now, but I'm just excited to be out in it. It's crazy to have this car outside, to be behind the wheel. I don't even remember what this felt like. All right, out on the road now. Taking it very easily. I've got everything off so I can hear. Of course, I'm talking, but you know what I mean. So far, so good. I mean, it definitely works as a vehicle. It's going down the road, which is more than it normally does. So I'd say on that front, certainly mission accomplished. But man, the disassembly and assembly of this thing has just been mind-blowing. So I'm so thrilled to have it out and about. Now, I talked to Nick from NM Turbo, the people who rebuilt the turbo, and I asked him if there was any sort of break-in procedure for this thing, because it's a rebuild, but it's basically like a brand new turbo. So he more or less said, do what I just did. Let it idle for 5 or 10 minutes, take it pretty gently for a few miles, and then I'm good to go. So I don't think I'm gonna go crazy, but I will hit boost just to see. This has been a long time coming, and I really wanna see what this car can be like again. This is just fantastic. Look, we're doing normal speeds. Smoke isn't billowing from under the hood, or if it is, it's blowing away so fast that I can't see it. Oh, also of note, there are no error lights. I mean, I don't know why there would be new ones, but with this car, you never know. And I'm happy to report there are none. I'm so happy. This was so much work. And for once, you can actually feel the reward of the work on this car. Usually it's like something electronic and you're like, oh, cool, there's no more light, but it's about the same. This is like not driving. Huge difference. Uh-oh. Coolant low, stop safely. All right, we will be turning around then. I knew that there's always gonna be something, but no big deal. We'll return, I will top it off, and I can continue with my test miles. I'll still call this a success. And the temperature's not like going crazy or anything like that. It's probably just a little low. Look, everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna get this thing back to the shop. I'm gonna drive it home tonight. I'm gonna put test miles on it. But overall, mission accomplished. We put the turbo back on the Volvo, guys. Let's head back. Well, how about that, guys? There's a rare ending to a Volvo video. It moved itself over into the studio area. Could not be happier. That was a lot of work that went really well, and then really poorly, and then really well again. I guess it's a metaphor for life, but either way, the Volvo is back in business. I'm certainly gonna drive it home tonight and then probably for the next few days because I've got a lot of lost time to make up for. What's next for the Volvo, you might ask? Well, probably some road testing and possibly even taking it autocrossing because it should just be a regular working car now. Knock on wood. Anyway, be sure to get your guys' coffee mugs by using the link in my description, getentertowin.com/Elliott Alvis. Not only will you get that style and coffee mug, my first piece of merch, but with each purchase, you'll be entered for a chance to win Matt Farah's BMW 135i Canyon Carver project. I've been watching what he's doing with it, and it's really, really cool. So again, use the link in my description, getentertowin.com/Elliott Alvis, and get your mug and enter to win your chance to win Matt Farah's BMW 135i. Other than that, that is going to do it for this video. Be sure to follow me at my various social medias flashing across down here. I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching. I've got some Volvo driving to do. Can't believe it's moving under its own power.